Okay, fellow babies, welcome to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. Appreciate all of you who are Patreon patrons or YouTube subscribers. You are keeping us afloat. If you're doing those things or not, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That's absolutely free for you. Easy to do. It's 3 clicks. There are instructions in the show description below, so check it out. And you've got to redo that every month. So if you haven't done it in a while, please link those accounts and Shane will get paid. You're sticking it to Amazon. It costs you absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's get to today's question from SIFTD from Jonathan Sasson. Nintendo just raised prices on the original Switch, including digital downloads, in the US, Canada, and other markets, even though the system is over 7 years old. Switch 2 pricing remains unchanged for now. Why is this? Is it about Trump's tariffs, inflation, or is it Nintendo using these things as a cover to increase prices and margins? Does this make sense as a business move this late in Switch's life cycle? It's a bunch of things. So yes, tariffs are going to kick in, and they're going to kick in soon. August 8th is tariff day. That's when all the tariffs go into effect. Nintendo obviously is protected with the older tariffs on anything that they imported prior to that. But I'd say sometime September, October, you're going to see tariffs pass through. So we're seeing eBay prices for Switch 2 at about retail plus 10%. So essentially they're covering the eBay fee. You're not seeing them at $900 anymore. Like I said, they're at $500. I think they raised the price of the Switch to make that not as appealing an alternative to the Switch 2. So Switch 1 now is going to be more expensive. Partly, I think, because they have to pay tariffs on Switch 1s as well. So you're seeing that because I don't think they stuffed the channel. They didn't accelerate shipments of those. So I think it's kind of a little bit of all of it. Does it make sense? I am really opposed to raising price on old consoles. Sony's been doing it. I think Microsoft did it too, but Sony's been doing it pretty consistently. I think it's just a bad signal to send. Now, I get it when they remodel the console and they give you like more storage or better features, like the LED screen on the Switch 1. Totally made sense to charge more, but OLED screen. But I think when you take an old thing and raise the price, absent massive inflation, it's just wrong. And I totally get it if there's a tariff. But I think that they'd be smarter rather than raise the price just to say, it's still whatever, $299 plus tariff, plus 10%, plus 15%. So yeah, why are they doing it? I think it's a bad business move. I think they're doing it to dampen demand for Switch 1 and make the delta between the price of Switch 1 and Switch 2 close enough that you just can't justify buying a 1 and you're going to buy a 2. So I really think it's that. Let's give them a little bit of time, but I don't think they're going to keep the Switch 1 around that long. So maybe a year. But I don't think that there's a reason to keep it. I think they want to force everybody to buy a Switch 2.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. It's time to find out why everyone is buying homes in Montana. Right now, Doug DeShazer has a beautiful single-level home with a triple-car garage available in the best neighborhood in Libby, Montana. This custom 3-bed, 2.5-bath home has a 500-square-foot patio for entertaining. It's built to last with solid wood core doors, Anderson windows, an asphalt driveway, central AC and heat, and a private well to run its sprinkler system. The price was recently reduced, and owner financing is available with 20% down. No matter where you're looking to buy in the U.S., Doug DeShazer is licensed to help. Make him your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643, or go to LibbyMontanaRealEstate.com.
What I would have expected is they cut the price of the Switch 1 down to $129 for the Lite or $99, $199 for the standard model and $249 for the OLED. So down $50 or so, and they haven't done that yet. They went the other way. I would never have done that. I would have cleared out the stuff you're making. I would have tried to get as many people to own a Switch as you can at low prices so that you hook them on the content and then tell them the only way you're going to play the next Mario Kart is to buy a Switch 2. And that is really how you sell the second console. So I think it's a mistake. I think that they are doing it to cover, the tariff increase in price and margin. Inflation is not a big deal. It sounds like a big deal when you're talking about food and stuff, but it's not a big deal for the components. It's tariffs. So tariffs are the biggest driver of inflation in consumer electronics. There's nothing going up on the actual supply chain side other than tariffs. Semiconductors don't cost more. Screens don't cost more. I would always have told you that inflation is not the president's fault and there's nothing he can do about it. In this case, it is absolutely the president's fault and there's everything he can do about it. Get rid of tariffs and inflation will go away. Fortunately, the way his tariffs are so haphazard and they're kind of bouncing all over the place that we're getting very slow inflationary growth. So it's going up by 1 or 0.2% per month. It's not going up by 10% per month. And it's hitting different industries at different paces. So he's doing these weird things like 35% tariff on Canada, but only on 6% of the stuff they import. The other 94% not. I don't know why. Mexico, 35%, suspended while we negotiate. So avocados aren't going up. But they will if he charges a 35% tariff. Prices are going to go up by 35%. So you're seeing a very slow increase in inflation, not in consumer electronics at all, except for tariffs. So I would say the worst place to be right now is a shareholder of Best Buy. Like, that company's got problems because everything they sell is going to go up, and unfortunately, it's going to go up right before Christmas when you normally would expect demand to go up. And even if they pass the price increase through, demand will drop and they're going to make less profit, unfortunately. So I think that Nintendo blew it. I would have cut the price. They can afford to cut the price on the Switch. They should have cut the price on the Switch. If I were them, I'd make a Switch Lite OLED and get rid of all the rest of them and just have one model, charge $149 for it or something, and try to get as many of those in people's hands as you can, so they're kind of conditioned how much they love Nintendo, and then upsell them a Switch 2 next year or the year after. Nintendo can absolutely spread the cost of the tariffs across all of its products, across all its hardware and all its software if it wants to. So we could argue that part of the $80 Mario Kart is because they have to pass through the tariff costs. So sure, I mean, they can do it any way they want, but I think that Nintendo's trying to make a profit, period, and I think they're trying to balance out how they do so. So the most insightful question you asked is this a good business move? And the answer is, I don't think so. I think that you want to sell more Switch 1s because that Switch 1 owner is the most likely person to buy a Switch 2 next year or the year after. Somebody who's never owned a Switch before is less likely to buy a Switch 2 than somebody who's owned a Switch 1. So I think you want to lower the price to as close to cost as possible, even including tariffs. And raising the price is just the wrong way to go. So I think it's a bad business move, but that's what they chose to do. Yes, it's entirely possible they're spreading the tariffs that they're incurring on Switch 2 by charging more for Switch 1 and trying to. But that's not fair to the guy who buys a Switch 1. He shouldn't have to pay to subsidize your Switch 2 purchase. That just isn't cool. So I don't agree with that. I think that's a bad business move. But again, it's possible. I don't know. I've never asked Nintendo that question. If I did ask, I'm sure they wouldn't answer it. They're not dishonest. They just refuse to answer if they don't have a good answer for me. And I actually like that. I respect that. So they never lie. They just will say, we don't disclose that, and then we move on and we're happy with each other. That's it for today's question. Thank you for joining me on Pachter Factor, my fellow babies. If you are a Patreon patron or a YouTube subscriber, we thank you very much. Whether you're subscribed or not, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. We get paid for that, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Super easy to do. Check out the instructions on how to do so in the show description below. And remember to do it every month. If you haven't done it in a month, we're not getting paid. So go check it out. 3 clicks. Shane gets $250. You're a god. He will thank you personally when he sees you. Anybody who walks up to me or Shane on the street and says, I connected my Amazon Prime account to my Twitch Prime account, I will thank you personally. You can do it on Blue Sky. Tell me you did it. I will give you a shout out. I promise. It's a cool thing to do. I don't get paid, but Shane does. It's important that Shane gets paid so we can keep this show alive. So thank you very, very, very much. I will see you guys next week.